What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. I have a fun one today. In this list, I will be going over my top 10 short JRPGs. Now, I was inspired to make this list after all the incredibly long JRPGs I've played this year, coming off of Persona 3 Reload, Unicorn Overlord, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I just really wanted something much smaller to play, something I could finish quick and enjoy my time with, and so I decided to make a list of my favorite shorter JRPGs. Say you don't have a ton of time to play games, or you're like me and you just want a break from incredibly long and large-scale JRPGs we've been playing lately, then this is the perfect list for you. So with all that said, let's jump right into it. First up on the list is Sea of Stars. This was a game I was incredibly excited for in the lead up to its release. I love the aesthetic and the way it pulls mechanics from some of my all-time favorite classics, but it adds a nice modern twist to them. Right from the jump, the pixel art is incredible. It features an amazing world brimming with rich details and super amazing landscapes. The story follows two protagonists as they harness the powers of the sun and moon to combat an ancient evil. The narrative is compelling, filled with really great characters, emotional depth, and really well-written dialogues that really kept me invested in the story. It just doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's one that had me feeling like I was making a significant amount of progress each time I sat down to play. Sea of Stars successfully pays homage to the golden age of JRPGs while carving out its own identity in a lot of really unique ways. The game offers a perfect blend of retro charm and contemporary flair. Overall, Sea of Stars is a must-play for any fan of the genre, and it really is everything I was hoping it would be in the lead up to its release. I know it has its flaws and there are some downsides here and there, but overall, Sea of Stars is a great, really tight and cohesive experience. Give this one a try if you haven't played it yet. Next up on the list, I have Trials of Mana, the remake. Now, this game is a blast to play, and like the rest of the games on this list, it can be done in under 20 hours. And while short, it provides a great sense of accomplishment as you make progress through what I found to be a really incredible story. Gameplay has seen a significant improvement with a more dynamic and fluid combat system. You can switch between characters seamlessly, each with unique abilities and playstyles. It adds this nice layer of strategy and variety that provides a great gameplay loop that kept me coming back. The updated controls, the updated mechanics, all this makes battles more accessible and a lot more free-flowing while still providing a really nice challenge. The story remains true to its origins. It's kind of shocking how close the story feels to the original game and how different everything else feels. It's really well executed. The developers did a fantastic job with this. It follows 6 distinct characters whose paths cross each other throughout the game. The character-driven narrative is improved through voice acting and enhanced cutscenes. Overall, the Trials of Mana remake is amazing, successfully revitalizing one of my favorite JRPGs of all time, while making it super accessible and enjoyable for both fans of the classic and people that have never played the game before. All right, moving on, another classic game that got a recent remake, and that's Super Mario RPG. I was always a fan of the classic and even more so of the remake. I think it holds up really well and it felt great to play, even with the fact that the remake really only improved visuals and kept the main game true to the original. Visually, the remake is a stunning upgrade. The updated graphics retain the original's whimsical and colorful aesthetic, but add a new level of detail and vibrancy. Characters and environments are beautifully reimagined, and it brings this amazing new, fresh look while preserving the game's iconic style. The story is a charming and humorous adventure featuring Mario, Bowser, Peach, along with many fan favorites, Mallow and Geno. The narrative balances lighthearted fun with memorable moments supported by enhanced dialogue and cutscenes that enrich the experience, in my opinion. Overall, the Super Mario RPG remake is incredible and is an amazing revival that captures all the amazing memories that I had with the original and make it feel really fresh and inviting for a new generation of players that want to experience this game. If you haven't played the remake yet, definitely give it a go. It can be finished in probably about 10 hours or so it's a short, tight experience and one that I think you'll enjoy. Next up on the list is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Now, I have spoken extensively about this game and how much I love it. Many people believe it's linked to be a downside, but this game can actually be as long as you want it to be. The main story will run you under 20 hours, but the end game beyond the main story is extensive and incredibly fun. From the moment you start playing, the art direction definitely stands out. I mean, this game looks absolutely incredible. It has a nice painterly or cel-shaded art style that I'm always a huge fan of. The game boasts some incredible environments that are a ton of fun to explore. Gameplay is where Granblue Fantasy Relink truly shines though. The combat system is dynamic and fast-paced, blending traditional action mechanics with RPG elements. You can switch between characters on the fly. Each of them offer unique abilities and playstyles. I mean, I had so much fun swapping characters in and out, unlocking new characters, learning how they play. I mean, the game changes up so significantly depending on what type of character you're playing as, and it really adds depth and variety to every battle and boss encounter. The cooperative multiplayer mode is also a nice highlight as well, especially once you get into the end game. Doing quests with friends adds a ton of fun to this one. Overall, Granblue Fantasy Relink is an incredible game that gives you the ability to take in as much of it as you like, while remaining a ton of fun. It offers a polished and captivating experience that both fans of the original series and new players will thoroughly enjoy. All right, moving on. Next up, I have Dragon's Crown. Now, I know everybody has been hyped up lately for Unicorn Overlord, and with good reason, because that game is awesome. But once upon a time, the same developer, Vanillaware, released a game called Dragon's Crown, and I was totally obsessed with this one on the PlayStation Vita. I put a ton of hours into this one, and it had some truly interesting and fun gameplay. The first thing that captures your attention is definitely the game's unique art style, but if you're familiar with Vanillaware, this game has that similar look and feel. Each character and environment is meticulously crafted with vibrant colors and great detail that gives Dragon's Crown a distinctive, almost storybook-like aesthetic. Gameplay is centered around classic beat-em-up mechanics, enhanced with some traditional RPG elements. You'll choose from 6 distinct character classes, each with unique abilities and playstyles, ranging from a fighter all the way to a spellcaster and everything in between. The combat is fast-paced and super satisfying with a deep combo system and the ability to upgrade and customize your character's skills and equipment. The game shines in its cooperative multiplayer mode though, allowing up to 4 people to team up either locally or online. This adds a nice layer of strategy when fighting bosses especially. The replay value is super high with multiple difficulty levels and a ton of stuff to discover. Dragon's Crown is an amazing homage to the classic beat-em-up genre. Its blending of stunning visuals, engaging combat, and cooperative play make it a standout title that remains enjoyable even today and is one of my all-time favorite Vanillaware titles. All right, moving on. Next up on the list is I Am Setsuna. Now, Square had this run where it made a few of these games that were more modern throwbacks to the older classic JRPGs. I didn't really like most of them, but I love I Am Setsuna. This was on the Switch as a launch title. It definitely came out in other places before that, if I remember correctly, but it was on the Switch where I personally discovered it. When I wasn't completely lost in Breath of the Wild, I was playing this, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. Visually, I Am Setsuna looks great with a minimalist sort of art style. The snowy landscapes rendered in these more soft and muted tones create an atmosphere of isolation that perfectly complements the game's somber narrative. The character designs are simple but expressive, and it fits all well within the overall aesthetic. Gameplay is heavily inspired by the classics, particularly with the active time battle system, always made famous by Chrono Trigger. Combat is straightforward yet engaging. It presents some challenges, but not too bad. And while the mechanics may seem familiar, they are polished and feel great to play. The story is the heart of I Am Setsuna though. Following the journey of Setsuna, a young woman that has to sacrifice herself to save her people. The narrative is dark at times, exploring themes of loss and hope, and the writing is subtle but super effective, and is supported by an insanely beautiful piano score that captures the game's emotional depth. I Am Setsuna is a heartfelt and evocative JRPG that honors its predecessors while offering a unique, emotionally driven experience. It's a must play for fans of classic JRPGs in my opinion, so do not miss out on this one. Moving on, I have Astral Chain. I know this one leans far heavier on the action side with some light JRPG mechanics. I'm including it on this list though because I think fans of JRPGs looking for a fun game that comes in at under that 20-hour mark will have a ton of fun with Astral Chain. This is an incredible experience that I feel is heavily slept on. It had some hype when it was first released, but I think it deserves so much more attention. Set in a futuristic inspired city, taken over by interdimensional creatures known as chimeras, Astral Chain puts you in the role of a special police officer, and the game's story is immersive and extremely well paced, which is what I look for when making this list. It combines elements of mystery, sci-fi, and insanely intense action set pieces. But the combat is definitely the true star in Astral Chain. You'll utilize a dual character system, controlling both the main character and their legion. This innovative mechanic allows for complex, fluid combat scenarios where synchronization and strategy are absolutely essential. The variety of legions, each with unique abilities and combat styles, really adds depth and replayability to each of the fights. Visually, Astral Chain is an incredible game. The vibrant neon-drenched city and incredibly detailed character designs create a world that feels both completely alien but somewhat familiar. I mean, you'll know what I mean when you start playing it. The game also runs super well on Switch. I have to mention that. It maintains a consistent frame rate even during some of the most chaotic combat sequences. The game also features some detective work mechanics, which I'm always a fan of. I love those in the Arkham games. This is great. It has segments requiring you to investigate crime scenes, gather clues, and solve puzzles. Astral Chain is just a remarkable achievement in the action genre, combining innovative mechanics, a compelling story, and stunning visuals. Platinum Games has delivered a unique and unforgettable game that is a must-play for fans of action games and JRPGs alike. I mean, it has that very, very anime look, feel, and plot, and I personally love that. And if you're a fan of JRPGs, then I'm sure you probably like that too. Check out Astral Chain. I don't think you'll regret it. All right, moving on. Next up, I have Chrono Trigger. I just had to put this one on here because I do believe this might be the best shorter JRPG that exists. I mean, the classic holds up so incredibly well that it's hard not to put it on a list like this. I mean, I could go toe-to-toe with modern games with its design and gameplay loop. Chrono Trigger really just stands out with its vibrant pixel art and imaginative world design, storytelling, gameplay. It all stands the test of time. And I mean, everything about Chrono Trigger is just so recognizable and brimming with personality. The story follows a group of adventurers led by Chrono who travel through time to prevent a global catastrophe. The narrative is expertly woven with engaging plot twists and multiple endings that encourage replayability. I mean, I've played this game countless times at this point, and its length being reasonably short makes it an easy one to return to when I need that classic JRPG fix. Gameplay was truly unique for its time and set the stage for many of the games that came after. Its ATB system combined with its use of combo techniques adds a ton of fun and strategy to the moment-to-moment gameplay. The seamless integration of exploration and puzzle solving kept my attention. Additionally, the game's non-linear progression and side quests allow for some opportunity to approach the story and game differently with each playthrough. Chrono Trigger is just a masterpiece that has stood the test of time. Its combination of compelling story, innovative gameplay, and stunning art and music make it a must-play for any JRPG fan. Decades after its release, Chrono Trigger remains a benchmark for excellence in the genre. To me personally, I would love a nice Chrono Trigger remake with that HD 2D art style that I love so much, but even left as it is, Chrono Trigger is an amazing game to come back to. Definitely don't miss out on this one. You could get through it pretty quick, and it's one you can't miss if you're a fan of the genre. All right, moving on. Next up, I have Live Alive. This right here might be the best short JRPG on this list simply because it's like 8 short JRPGs in one short JRPG, if that makes sense. Live Alive does something really special with each individual story within the larger game and brings them together in a really unique way. If you want a bite-sized experience, you've got that. And if you want a full-fledged JRPG that's on the shorter side, you have that as well. Live Alive is a great game in that respect. With all that said, the game's most notable feature is its structure. It consists of 7 distinct chapters, each set in a different time period and featuring unique protagonists, gameplay styles, settings, and narratives. From the prehistoric era to the far future, each chapter is a self-contained story. Within it, it has its own themes and mechanics ranging from turn-based combat to stealth missions. This variety keeps the gameplay feeling really fresh and engaging, as you are constantly introduced to new settings and challenges. Visually, the remake enhances the original 16-bit graphics with a modern HD 2D style similar to the games of Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. This art style is one of my favorite new things to hit games recently, as it beautifully blends nostalgia with contemporary aesthetics, breathing all new life into the game's diverse worlds while preserving the charm of the original pixel art. I can't wait to get that Dragon Quest HD 2D remake as well. I mean, hopefully we're getting that one soon, but I digress. Narratively, Live Alive excels in its ambition. Each chapter explores different themes and genres, from sci-fi to historical drama, offering a wide range of storytelling styles. The overarching narrative eventually ties all these stories together in a surprisingly satisfying way, and their ability to do all that makes this one of the best JRPGs I've ever played. All right, finally, last up on the list is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country. This right here is one of my all-time favorite DLCs, and it's a prequel of sorts to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so you could even play it without playing the whole game, although you should play it. Play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, please. It's great, but it's also like 100 hours long, so that's a game for a different list. Set 500 years before the events of the main game, the DLC explores the tragic history of the Kingdom of Torna. The narrative is both engaging and exciting, providing a deeper understanding of key characters and events that shape the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Visually, the game is stunning and actually runs super well on the Switch. I mean, that's something Monolith Soft has always excelled at. I'm floored at their ability to put these incredibly large-scale games on the platform. It features lush environments and well-crafted landscapes that encourage exploration. The art direction maintains the story's signature style with vibrant colors and detailed character models that bring everything to life in an amazing way. Gameplay in Torna benefits from refinements in the combat system. The blade and driver mechanics return, allowing for seamless switching between characters during battles. The dynamic system encourages strategic thinking and fluid combat, making battles more engaging and enjoyable all around. Additionally, the community building side quests add depth to the experience and encourages you to connect with the world and its inhabitants. If you really liked Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or if you want to jump in and haven't played it yet and kind of want to see what the experience is like, then this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Anyway, everyone, that's it from me on this one. That's my list of 10 shorter JRPGs for anyone looking for a great game that they can sink their teeth into and not feel intimidated by its length. Let me know in the comments below if you've played any of these or if there's any games you would like to add to the list. I'm always looking for a great short JRPG to check out. That's it for me on this one. So until next time, I'm out.